Hello everyone, Adam here again from FourFourTwo. Now it's that time of the week again, are you all excited? We're going to start talking about the referees, the refereeing governing bodies, VAR, you name it, and today, sin bins as well. No, seriously, another story about referees. Adam Cleary is making a video today about Newcastle and their penalty decision last night. He might be trying to put a positive spin on it, but just so you know, he is absolutely distraught. To be fair, it was a bit of a robbery, and there's also been another refereeing story this week about sin bins and how they've been given the green light by the IFAB, which is the rulemaking, the lawmaking governing body for referees across world football. So, let's get into it. Now, just one quick thing to address quickly. I had a comment on my last video, the Haaland video from the Langy19, that said, good video, good analysis, good explanations, good data, but did you get dressed in the dark? Now, this was me the other day. And yeah, as you can see, I didn't do my buttons properly, and I only realised after recording. I'm not sure how. And I'm 24 now, and I have come to the conclusion that I'm an idiot. So apologies, but we're going route one today with the hoodie. Keeping things simple. I'm not going to wear a button shirt for a while after that one. That was an absolute mare. So what has happened? Well, the International Football Association Board, also known as IFAB, have given the green light to start trialling and implementing sin bins, 10-minute sin bins into professional football at the top level for acts of dissent. So things like tactical fouls, little niggly tackles. And this is probably because there's a bit too much discrepancy at the moment between yellow and red cards, I think they'd feel. But 10-minute sin bins across the board in the Premier League, potentially, this is what we could be seeing, and this could be reality very, very soon. Now, sin bins were actually trialled at a grassroots level across 31 leagues in the 2018-2019 season, and they reported that it saw a 38% reduction in acts of dissent across those 31 leagues, which is good reading on paper. In the next season, 2019-2020, the rule was then stepped up and implemented to Step 5 of the National League system and Tier 3 and below of the Women's League system, and has been there ever since. Now, the FA's chief executive, Mark Bullingham, has come out and said this, and I quote, "I think there's frustration for fans watching games when they see a promising counter-attack that's ruined by that, in brackets, a tactical foul," Bullingham said. So he's saying that, when your team is on the break, and it used to be Fernandinho at City, you just hack someone down and take them out, that should not go unpunished, and there should be a 10-minute sin bin. So I can see the logic behind it, but that's why they're trying to implement it at the moment. So before we get into the details about this sin bin thing, the orange card system potentially, and what that could mean, there was also a couple things worthy to note that were discussed at the IFAB meeting, one of which was how VAR is being used right now and what they can do to change that. So IFAB have come out and said that any formal recommendations or trials to emerge from an ongoing FIFA-led review of VAR should not result in any additional delays during matches. And then also you can see there that the lawmaking body have also said that technology to develop semi-auto offsides will continue in order to assist on-field match officials and enable them to speed up decision-making in relation to offside situations. Now, so yeah, for me personally, especially in the World Cup in Qatar, I thought automated offsides worked very, very well. So the 2 pointers there from that discussion seem quite positive to me, because I think everyone can agree unanimously across the football world as well, particularly in the Premier League, that VAR itself does need refining, and the amount of delays really needs to be ironed out whilst making the decision-making process better at the same time. So they look like positive steps to me, but let's get back on to the sin bins. So what have people been saying about it? Well, John Terry, first and foremost, has come out on Twitter and X. That's what I meant to say, X. So John Terry has come out on X and said that he doesn't think that sin bins will be a good idea because the level of leniency will differ every week from referee to referee, and there'll be too much inconsistency in the decision making on what constitutes a sin binnable, if that's a word, foul. So that's a very valid point, I think. We've seen referees have always had different levels of leniency in the pre-VAR era. Fernandinho is the example I actually want to use because he used to commit so many tactical fouls, and he seemed to be in the referees' back pockets all the time, like in the sense that he wasn't being booked. There's definitely differential treatment towards certain positions where a foul happens on the pitch, if you know what I mean. Like if something is on the break on a counter-attack, they're more likely to be booked. If there isn't, they're not. And all the referees have their own interpretations of this, which as it stands right now, has nothing to do with VAR, because these aren't VAR-able offences that are in play. It's obviously VAR's only for goal decisions and penalty decisions, things like that. So I actually do see John Terry's point on this one, to be fair. However, on the flip side, Jamie Carragher has come out and said that he didn't used to be a fan of sin bins, but that too many games now are being ruined by red cards, so an orange card system might be a better thing to implement so we don't see games being spoiled, which I actually completely disagree with games being spoiled by 10 men, because, I mean, we saw Tottenham-Chelsea the other day, didn't we? And that was, honestly, blockbuster entertainment. I had to go get popcorn. Liverpool at the same stadium, the Luis Diaz thing. Of course, that was a terrible decision. But watching teams with 9 men hustle and harry to try and scrape together a result, it is actually entertaining. And I understand what he's saying, that the quality of a game, maybe tactically, it's not as much of a tactical spectacle if teams are getting players sent off. But ultimately, what do we pay money for to watch, to go to games and to watch it on the telly? It's to be entertained. And sometimes it's good value for money when a bit of chaos ensues. So I kind of disagree with him on that one. So let's say for 1 minute that sin bins are introduced, and this is just my personal opinion. You know, I think they'd be dished out a lot more than red cards are, obviously, because it's for a lesser foul ultimately. They're trying to find some sort of middle ground between the yellow and the red card. Let's say that they're dished out a lot and there is 10-minute suspensions for players. That is going to massively, massively tactically shift how games are played, and it's going to make them very stop-start and turgid in periods. So, for instance, if a player of your team gets sent off and then obviously you've got 10 men, naturally that team is going to sit back and have a bank of 10 for 10 minutes until they can come out again and try and score a goal. So it's just going to actually disrupt the rhythm of a game. Unless you are Tottenham Hotspur and managed by Ange Postecoglou, because he'd actually love a sin bin, because he just give it a go, mate. You know, he'll just throw, that was a terrible Australian accent, but he will just throw people forward willy-nilly, whereas other teams won't. And I think that it would really change the flow of league football if we just kept seeing teams go down to 10 men week in, week out. It just doesn't seem like a very attractive proposition to me. And another point to make really is, look, if you have, in any walk of life, if you have a problem, in this case the problem is VAR, because they clearly can't use it properly. There is clearly still human error involved in VAR. They are clearly still getting calls wrong. How would you then fix that problem by piling another problem on top of it? Because presumably, with this sin bin system in place, VAR are also going to have an ability to intervene with that as well, which is going to make the processes of entire games longer, more added time, and ultimately more errors. There's going to be discussions after games now where it's, should X player have been sin binned for this foul? And it's just going to make it more tedious. And they need to, in my opinion, fix the VAR problem first, before they start introducing all of this. Just leave the sport alone, lads, please, for a year. Oh my god. Anyway, yes, there we go. That was an explainer and a bit of an opinion piece, I guess. You don't have to agree with me, of course. But on the IFAB and what they're proposing to introduce into football, sin bins, would it be good for the game? You can let me know in the comments. How could it be refined, maybe? Maybe it should just be for dissent towards referees. Maybe that would be the right way to go. You let me know. But personally, I just don't want another referee-involving talking point introduced into the game, because my brain is clogged up with it all. But yes, don't forget to subscribe, guys. Hoodie today. I think I've worn it properly. I think it's looked okay. No buttons today. I've done fine with my attire. So yeah, I hope you've had a lovely day. I've been Adam Monk, and I'll see you very, very soon. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.